Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. OMG, thank God, Saul Amarova did not get the job at the OCC of the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. After hearing this debate between her and Brian Brooks, we dodged a big one, guys. This was about an hour and a half. It was a conference here discerning a regulatory approach to cryptocurrencies and digital assets. I'm obviously not going to play you guys this clip, but I will link this in the description of the video if you guys are interested. Again, Saul Amarova was up for the job at the OCC, one position that was formerly held by Brian Brooks, whom we all love. And I did a video on this back in October, early October of 2021. At that time, Pat Toomey was calling her on a Marxist paper that she wrote in university in 1989. So essentially what he was saying is, do we want a Marxist to be running the OCC? Well, apparently she did not get the job, and if you guys didn't catch this video I did a few months ago, I will link it up here in the top right-hand corner to give you guys a little bit more context about Saul Amarova. Well, amid whiplash at the OCC, Michael Hsu, who is currently holding that position, expects to serve for the foreseeable future. This was just released yesterday. Acting Comptroller of the Currency, Michael Hsu expects to be in his role for the foreseeable future, he told agency employees in an internal email obtained by American Banker. The Office of the Comptroller of the Currency has been without a Senate-confirmed leader since Joseph Otting departed in May of 2020. Hsu, a longtime Federal Reserve official, was named acting head 1 year later. Last November, President Biden nominated Saul Amarova, a Cornell law professor, to head the agency, but she withdrew her name the following month amid attacks from congressional Republicans and banking industry representatives. So this is the latest here, just updated July 5th, 2022. A Marxist as the head of the OCC. No thanks. So wanted to thank Wheezy at Nerd Nation Unboxed just for updating us on this situation. I know this was a bit of a contentious matter. We weren't quite sure who we were going to get in there. Of course, her ideologies lined up a lot more with bigger government, less control for the people, less financial freedom. And so, a lot of us were foreseeing this being a very big problem had she become the head of the OCC. Anyway, again, if you guys want to get some more context on this story, I do urge you watch that video that I did back in October. I also saw this guy's Ripple board member and former Microsoft economist Susan Athey. She just joined the DOJ's antitrust team as tech probes surge. So Susan Athey, let's put this into context. She is a Stanford University professor and former chief economist at Microsoft. She is now joining the Justice Department as its top antitrust economist. She also serves on Ripple's board of directors, guys. Way back in 2016, from Ripple's Insights blog, Athey talks about the state of payments, blockchain, and Ripple. And so I'm sure you can guess she's very cryptocurrency friendly in terms of the technology, blockchain real-world utility. Considering, too, she sits on Ripple's board. Now she's the top antitrust economist for the Department of Justice. Athey, an expert on the economics of internet platforms, particularly search engines and online advertising, joins the Department of Justice as it prepares for trials against Alphabet Inc.'s Google, and it's pursuing an investigation of Apple Inc. and another Google case. Because of her previous work, though, Athey is likely to be rescued from the Justice Department's Google and Apple cases, said to people speaking on condition of anonymity about internal DOJ matters. So her specialty as an economist, of course, has come in handy, obviously sitting on the Ripple board. Now at the Department of Justice, so we have a former Ripple board member there. I don't know if she currently sits on the Ripple board. I don't think she does. Here, let's just take a look real quick. We got Brad, David, Christina Campbell, Monica Long, Ashish Burla, Eric Van Miltenberg, Kirsten Hollers, Devrej Varidan. We've got Eric Jack, Stuart Alderati. Oh, no, that isn't even the bell. That's just leadership. Sorry here. Board of directors. Oh, there you go. Susan Athey, board member. So she currently sits on the board over there at Ripple still. And now, again, the DOJ antitrust team. So interesting news there. Wanted to thank Nevermind here on Twitter. XRP Crypto Wolf also bringing this to our attention with regards to the Federal Reserve and an update, a conference that now casts doubt on central bank digital currencies and dollar digitalization. So there are people in government fighting back, guys. At the Federal Reserve's first conference on the international role of the dollar, the prospect of the U.S. central bank digital currency did not particularly impress panelists. According to a July 5th write-up on the June conference, a panel focused on digital assets found that institutional investment in crypto is constrained by the lack of regulatory framework. Meanwhile, a Fed-issued CBDC, a particularly hot topic in Congress at the moment, or alternatives underwhelmed. Here's a quote. Panelists generally agreed that technology by itself would not lead to drastic changes in the global currency ecosystem, as other factors such as the rule of law, stability, network effects, and the depth of markets are crucial for the advantages held by dominant currencies, the Fed's summary said. The write-up also also downplayed the risks that foreign currencies, especially the Chinese renminbi or other digital assets, pose to the dollar in the international sphere, calling the scope of cross-border CBDCs still quite limited. Indeed, the report of the conference points to research that suggests a major market for Bitcoin comes from efforts to evade capital controls, particularly China's stringent regime. China's ambitions for an international role for the renminbi have caused a great deal of concern. Sure, we know that. They talk a little bit about how China is rolling out their digital renminbi here and how that is going to also play a role in the financial system. However, U.S. government still not seeing the need for a CBDC, still saying, our current system works very well as it is. And, I guess, in some ways they probably are like, we don't want to touch the dollar. We don't want to mess around with a good thing. We know dollar dominance is declining in other ways. So how can we combat that? Well, let's raise interest rates. That's one tool. Nevertheless, this is kind of the latest that we're seeing in Congress, still lukewarm on CBDCs. So, looks like the U.S. is going to hold out on central bank digital currencies, which would be a good thing. Combat against the Great Reset as well. There's also that aspect to it. In a lot of ways, the world follows the United States when it comes to financial policies. And so if the U.S. says no to CBDCs, or at least no to having a mechanism that can possibly control people's bank accounts, other countries, even if they do issue CBDCs, they may not activate that controllable mechanism. Well, the more communist countries might, but so it's an interesting thing that we're seeing here. The world is changing. The face of finance is changing. Of course, they're trying to bring down the system, the powers that be. Yet the United States is saying, we're not playing ball. We are still not entirely sure about CBDCs. So I thought that was an interesting update. Wanted to thank XRP Crypto Wolf for bringing that to our attention. Considering this too, guys, this is an article from the Toronto Star, why the US dollar will be replaced as the dominant global currency sooner than you think. So this is quite a lengthy article, and I will link it in the description for you guys if you are interested. It's got a lot of good information, though. First, and as a reaction to the crippling sanctions and its exclusion from the global SWIFT money transfer system imposed by the West, this is in relation to Russia, by the way, it moved quickly to protect the ruble by raising interest rates to 20%, subsequently lower to 11%, and imposing capital controls. Then it demanded that all non-friendlies and the West could only use rubles or gold to buy its much coveted oil. Russia, which has spent the better part of the last decade getting rid of its US dollars and increasing its gold reserves, also offered to buy gold, mostly from its captive gold mining sector, at a rate of 5,000 rubles per gram. Russian President Vladimir Putin is advocating that BRICS economies look into creating an international reserve currency using the basket of their own currency. So that is the big point here. President Putin is saying, look, we do not need the US dollar. We can create our own global reserve currency that we use amongst ourselves and other countries that want to trade with us. So, this is heating up. Finally, he stated, making noises about creating a gold-backed ruble. Why is there any significance to these moves? So again, as I said, it talks about dollar dominance, the US dollar, the impacts it could have, giving historical context, a very in-depth article here, which, a lot of articles tend to just kind of brush over the detail. So I will link this in the description for you guys if you are interested. Wanted to shift gears a little bit, guys, with regards to the Ripple SEC case. We've got James K. Filan here posting an update. Two attorneys from Kellogg Hansen have now filed motions to be admitted to represent Ripple. Please welcome Kylie Kim and Clayton Masterman. Biographies and motions for administration are below. So Ripple has hired two more attorneys. But, you'd think, okay, are they getting rid of some of the old attorneys? Are they just adding more to their arsenal? Fred Rispoli down here saying, Attorney Jeremy Hogan, you went nuts for Solomon. Now behold Masterman, Clayton Masterman. But for everyone else, they're just two associates handling groundwork for other associates that left, as well as adding depth for MSJ work. Masterman is a very, very new attorney. Kim has about 5 years on him, it seems. So it sounds like these are junior attorneys added to the team just to do some legwork. There is appeal in Kylie Kim's CV. Should I assume Ripple prepared to appeal the judge's decision? Please tell me no. That's a very good question. WM Wealth Mentor down here asking Jeremy Hogan, what do you think about this? Jeremy Hogan responding, adding research attorneys for judgment summary motion. So again, just research attorneys here. It could be that they are adding these specific attorneys because they do have experience on appeals. And should Ripple need more information researched, maybe they would choose these particular attorneys over others. I don't know that. That's just me speculating. But I guess Ripple could be indeed ready to appeal an unfavorable decision if it indeed does come down. Anyway, wanted to thank James for pointing that out. And this guy's from Mike Lai. Ripple may benefit from new Supreme Court makeup in the XRP lawsuit. Now, this was brought up by John Deaton. He posted this a couple of days ago. The current makeup of the Supreme Court of the U.S., which has also recently overturned Roe versus Wade, may be more prone to weaken the power of government agencies. So that could be good for the Ripple SEC case, guys. This could threaten the SEC as the financial watchdog continues its regulation by enforcement practice. In case of an appeal, the current environment in the United States may be favorable to the defendants. So James K. Filan wrote back in 2020 that different federal agencies are trying to regulate crypto. Start thinking about the bigger picture, like Chevron defense, the major questions doctrine, and our new Supreme Court makeup. So this was brought up back in 2020. The Supreme Court is going to have an influence on this. The major questions doctrine holds that courts generally should not defer to agency statutory interpretations that concern questions of vast economic or political significance. Why should just one agency get to decide questions of vast economic or political significance? He continued. So again, just retweeting out a James K. Filan tweet from back in and around the time that the lawsuit was announced. With the rapid evolution of crypto, why should one agency, whether SEC, FinCEN, or DOJ, get to set the rules instead of having specific congressional guidance? Especially when they come off different conclusions. We can't look at individual cases without more specific guidance. Crypto, like Ripple, is treated differently depending on the country. Yet how this case is decided is of worldwide economic and political importance. We can't have one-off decisions. We need guidance if the U.S. is going to compete in this space. Again, guys, the context of this tweet from 2 years ago now, almost 2 years ago, very different at that time because we didn't know a lot of the things that we do know today. Nevertheless, the Supreme Court could have an effect on the case. So an interesting point there. Wanted to thank Mike Lai, John Deaton, and James K. Filan for pointing that out. And as James K. Filan did point out, this is going to have an impact around the world. We're already seeing BRICS countries using CBDCs for transactions. Ripple is working with the central banks of these particular countries, namely Brazil and India. That is confirmed. XRP would likely be a bridge currency to these countries. So this brought to us by Matthew Lany. And yeah, I mean, if Ripple is currently working with Brazil and India, that is confirmed. Why would they not work with the other BRICS countries? I mean, could it be that Putin's like, no, that's American technology, we can do better than that? Would he do that? I don't know. XRP, of course, is a protocol, as Matthew Lany points down here. Any person or nation, company, non-for-profit can use it. It's not country-specific. So him just responding to T. Zoo here, I'm not sure that XRP becoming an essential element of BRICS is at this stage would be positive in terms of the current Western sanctions against Russia and the emergence of BRICS as an alternative to SWIFT. It would arguably set XRP against the Western financial system. So as per Matthew Lany, XRP is a protocol that can be used anywhere. It is not region-specific. And, Brazil, India, they have confirmed utilizing it. So South Africa, China, Russia, could they be next? Interesting thing to be pondering. We also got this guy's XRP B Jam in here on Twitter. Hashtag, he tweeted this out, a question to Judy Shelton. Hashtag XRP. Judy, do you still like this idea? And this was a quote from a Judy Shelton interview from back during the Trump administration. I like the idea of a gold-backed currency. It could even be done in a cryptocurrency sort of way. A unified money system, so when you talk about the international marketplace, everyone is playing on a level monetary playing field. Currency backed by gold, a revamp of the current system. Playing on a level playing field, well, we know where we've heard that before. And guess what? Judy Shelton actually retweeted this out. Yes, I do. So it sounds like she is still on board to back currency with a gold standard or something similar in a cryptocurrency sort of way. So perhaps done on a blockchain, utilizing a liquid cryptocurrency like XRP to move the money. It would be a unified money system that would be standardized internationally. And who else mentions the level playing field? Obviously, Brad Garlinghouse. We've heard him talk about it numerous times. So will it be up to the Supreme Court, taking more power away from the traditional financial institutions like the SEC and spreading out the responsibility to other agencies, or creating a new agency within the US government that would regulate cryptocurrencies exclusively? Judy Shelton seems to still be on board with DLT technology running the financial system. We know Ripple and XRP already poised to do such a thing. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.